So step 1 is contrast causes you to ask. Step 2 is source answers. Step 3 is you've got to get in the receiving mode, so that you can feel the satisfaction of witnessing these thoughts turning to things. And when you get really good at that, when you meditate every day, or when you are often an appreciator, when life is feeling good to you, when the edge is not so edgy in your life experience, when you occasionally have a negative emotion, but mostly you feel wonderful, then we announce that you have accomplished step 4. Step 4 is the mastery of step 3. How about that? Might seem silly to give a whole step to the mastery of a step before it, but it's what we've done. Because when it's easy for you to stay or to get back to that receiving mode, that appreciative mode, then you're in a place where what's in the vortex, the vibrational version of it, which is presenting itself to you all day, every day, begins to be heard by you. It's like you line up with it. It's like you tune into it. So it goes like this. You're bipping along, you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. Your vortex is full of enough to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes, really. Law of attraction has been responding to it. Cooperative components have been gathered, and all of this is queued up, ready for you to begin a conscious realization of it. So Source, who knows where you are in relationship to what you have already created, is offering you a steady thought stream, a path to lead you to the full satisfaction of these things that you want. And we call it a path of least resistance, because you, dear hearts, and it's all right, you've put a whole bunch of resistance on your path. But your inner being knows what all your hang-ups are, what all your hindering beliefs are. And your inner being is offering you ideas of how to get to where you want to be, even though there's resistance on your path. Your inner being isn't saying, oh, there's resistance on your path, go get rid of it and then come back and we'll talk. Your inner being isn't saying, oh, too much resistance for you, you're doomed to an unpleasant life. Your inner being just constantly offers ideas about how you can get to where you want to be. It's like Esther losing her gold pen. She couldn't find it anywhere. She searched for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks about it. Finally gave up, looked everywhere, in every handbag, in every drawer, even moved to a whole new place, boxed everything up, unboxed everything, and finally said, I guess I have to face the fact I've lost my beautiful gold pen. And then one day, because we knew where it was, and she was so convinced that it was lost that she couldn't find it, even though her hand had searched through that bag so many times. Do you know, when you're looking for something that you don't believe is there, your hand cannot find it? You'll go there when it's over there, and then you'll go there when it's over there, then you'll shake it over there. You cannot defy these laws of the universe. So one day we offered to her a suggestion that she look for something else. It was a little perfume spray that she liked. And she thought, oh, I think the last time I used it was in that bag. She reached in and came out with her pen. Path of least resistance. You might call it trickery. Whatever it takes to get you to where you want to be. You think you're looking for this, but really what you do is find that. And you know that. You've had that experience many times, haven't you? Looking for your keys, you're on your way out the door, or you don't even know you don't have your keys, and then you remember something else and you go back for that bottle of water, and there are your keys, and you think, oh, wasn't that lucky that I needed this bottle of water, or I would not have found my keys. It wasn't lucky. It was your inner being who knew where the keys were. Path of least resistance. And so your vortex is full of all of this knowing, all of this reality, all of it queued up, all of the cooperative components gathered for you. And then you, in some vibrational relationship to that knowing. The better you feel, the more on point you are. The worse you feel, the more oblivious you are. You recognize that in yourself, don't you? So let's say you've been meditating, you've been appreciating, you're mostly tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And so you are in the vicinity of what's in your vortex, and there you are. Maybe you've just meditated and you've cleared your mind. It's such a wonderful state of being. And then near the end of your meditation, a thought occurs to you. This sweet thought comes into your mind, and you can feel the exhilaration of it because it's a pure idea straight from source. Now, we don't mean pure in the sense that it's only talking about spiritual things by your standards. Esther came out of meditation the other day, And the first thought she had was, ooh, I'd like to move the furniture around in my house. Many would say, we might be in the wrong seminar. But it was such a good feeling thought. And what it led to was a series of events that just knocked Esther's socks off by the time it was finished. The people that she met and the things that ensued as a result of that beginning thought. And so when that first sweet thought comes to you, and by that sweet thought we mean that thought that is not burdened by doubt or disbelief, that first really good satisfying thought comes, then you're off and running. And once you allow yourself to be the receiver of those good feeling thoughts, and even more important, the understander of why you had access to such a thought and what that thought would lead to. It's like getting ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready for the full manifestation. But so often, you just want the full manifestation. You don't want to be ready to be ready, ready. You just say, I want it, and I want it now. And when it doesn't come now because you weren't ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, then you say, I must not be worthy, or I must not be in the path of goodness, or it's that reason, or that reason, or that reason. And then you practice the thought of it not coming to you rather than allow the thoughts of it coming. So what we want to convince you about today is that the essence of everything that you want is fully active in your vortex. But we also want you to understand, it's not just the essence of it that's fully active. It's the path. It's the full-blown path. It's the understanding of everyone who will help you along the way in the full receiving of what you want. It's all there for you. But just because you can't see it does not mean it isn't there. It's in that vibrational state that you are not yet keen to hear. It's like your dog can hear things you can't hear, but you don't say, stop faking. I know you're not hearing anything, so put those ears down. You can't smell that either. Stop pretending. Stop pretending that you have a different reality than I do. You don't say that, do you? Because you accept that your dog does have a different reality than you do, has a different ability to hear and see and smell and taste. The beasts of your planet are much more in alignment with their inner beings, and therefore they're having a much fuller physical experience than you often are allowing yourself. And so if you can accept that there is a vibrational frequency that you can get better and better and better at tuning yourself to, then the fun begins. Because so often you think that the fun is, oh, just give it to me and then I'll have fun. When I have all the money I need, then I'll start having fun. Or when I get that job, then I'll have fun. Or when I find that mate, then I'll have fun. And we say, you can't get there from there. You've got to be ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. And what you're going to discover, if you can hear us clearly today, or maybe what you've already discovered because your life has already shown it to you, is that it is as satisfying to be ready for this as it is to be ready for this. When you really get it, that it's the process. You've been saying it as humans for a long time, that the joy is in the journey, but few of you really meant it. What you meant is, I'll put up with the crappy, happy journey if it will get me what I want. That's what you really meant. And then you said, but hurry up, but hurry up. But after a while, when you begin to accept that life is continuing to cause you to put more things into your vortex, and more things in your vortex are reaching maturation, and that those that are ready for you to be received, if provided you're in the receiving mode, you'll begin getting the impulses, and oh boy, does it feel good as it becomes. You'll reach the place where a day will be full of rendezvous after rendezvous after rendezvous after rendezvous after rendezvous. You will feel like there is a concierge in the sky orchestrating every wonderful thing that happens to you. And in fact, it is just that way. So, we are eager to visit with you about anything that matters to you. It is our desire to help you to realize how close to the receiving mode that you're in, and to maybe help you soften resistance on some points that are stuck in your vibrational craw, that are keeping you from being the receiver of what you want. We love it when you find understanding. We like it so much when you deliberately tune to the frequency of who you are, because then you allow your inner being, who is always flowing to you and through you, to be realized by you. You can't block us. We're still flowing to you and through you. But if you don't know it, it's not good for you. Still good for us, but it's not good for you. Still good for us, but not good for you. And when you are in the receiving mode, when you receive that clear thought that we are thinking, that clear knowing that we are holding, when you allow yourself that, then the satisfaction that you feel is your indicator of our alignment. Because your emotions, and satisfaction is certainly an emotion that we are going to be focusing on here today. When you realize that your emotions are your indicator of how much of your inner being you are allowing yourself to realize in this moment, how much of the fullness of who you are you're allowing yourself to recognize, the better you feel, the more open to your wholeness that you are. The worse you feel, the more pinched off you are. And you can give every excuse in the world, and you can find excuses that are even believable by the masses around you. You can explain why you hate that person and how much you hate that person and how justified you are in hating that person, and a whole lot of others will agree with you, but your inner being won't. And your inner being is the only relationship that matters to you, because your alignment with your inner being is your gateway to the fullness of who you are. And living happily ever after is all about that and only that. So what do you want to talk about? It's going to be a good day. A particularly good day. Yeah. Who are you people? You're after it, aren't you?